Now with a new Green Ranger on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it's time to see where this story is going to go. This is the Comicstorian channel where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues, I break them down, giving you an audio drama of the adventures. This allows you to keep up to date as to what is going on in the world of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic books so that you know what you should be adding to your collection when you go to your local bookstore. I highly recommend this series, so definitely check it out. In our last video, Zedd had captured and isolated Angel Grove from the rest of the world in an attempt to show the world a life without the Power Rangers, and to everyone's surprise, it was better. The new Green Ranger, Matt, sided with Zedd in an attempt to get close and spring an attack against Zedd when the time was right, but that barely succeeded. Zedd revealed in the end that his plan was actually not to stop the Rangers. It was to make the world think twice about them, as well as capture the Eltarian supervisor, Candace. Since Candace's capture, she has now been imprisoned on the moon, making her stay as difficult as possible for Zedd and his minions. As it becomes dinner time, Babu and Squat approach Candace's cell, telling her to please eat something. They worked really hard to find all kinds of blue foods for her. Blueberries, blue corn, blue cheese, even blue jello. Candace tells them that either of their hands slip through these bars, and she can promise that they will not return intact. Squat asks, "Please, we promise we didn't poison any of the food, right, Babu?" And Babu says, don't eat the jello. Squat tells her, "Okay, everything but the jello is not poisoned." Candace gets up asking, "You don't know much about Eltarians, do you? Like the little known fact that we can read people's minds?" In fact, Squat, you're thinking of a number between 1 and 10, and it's the number 7. His eyes go wide as he runs out, "Get out of my head!" And Babu stares, asking, "Really?" But back on Earth, the Rangers are sent out to investigate an energy reading, and Tommy tells everyone not to be alarmed. They're just doing a routine sweep. This is all just a precaution. Across the way, Matt, in his suit, asks, "Precaution? Do you really think we need 6 Rangers for that?" Tommy then asks him, "What are you even doing here?" And Matt removes his helmet to show his face. "I'm hunting putties. Promethea picked up the same random chaos particles that you're scanning, so here I am, Green Ranger and all." Meanwhile, Billy continues to scan the area while the others are not happy to see him, as he just recently betrayed them. But his scanner does pick up something. As he focuses in on it, they see a dog on a leash, and the one that they're looking at rapidly grows in size, punching him to the ground. Tommy and Matt rush in to help, but as they do, they argue which of them should be the ones doing the honors. They each take their swings, but then they get ramped up in their own bickering when they don't realize that neither of them actually stopped the putties. At that moment, the putty is vaporized from a power blaster shot, and Kimberly asks, "Are you guys fighting each other or the chaos putties? Because we already took care of those." Adam quietly asks, "Did we really just use the power blaster on a putty?" And Billy says that it does feel like a little overkill. As they continue to argue and debate and squabble, they then receive a radio call from Alpha 5 telling them that they are going to be teleported. Well, everyone except Billy. At the command center, Zordon tells everyone that after much deliberation, "It has come to my attention that Billy was behind the disappearance of the Dragon Coin. Furthermore, he was actively working behind the scenes with Grace Sterling to revive the Green Ranger." Everyone is stunned. "Are you sure, Zordon? Doesn't seem like Billy to lie." And then Aisha says, "Actually, it's true. I saw Billy talking to the Green Ranger at Angel Grove, and when I confronted him, he admitted to it." Tommy asks, "Wait, and you didn't think to tell us?" Aisha says that she gave Billy the benefit of the doubt. Plus, she told him that he had to come forward with it or she would. Kimberly is stunned as well. "Hang on a minute, sure, this sounds bad, but shouldn't Billy be here to defend himself?" Zordon tells her that for now, he is restricting Billy's access to the command center and all the other vital areas. However, as they need the Rangers at full power, he will remain on the team until a suitable replacement can be found. Everyone voices their concerns about replacing Billy, and Zordon asks, "Do you feel that I am being unreasonable? When I was a guardian of Eltar, I didn't always agree with the decisions of my superiors, but I rewarded the trust that they showed in me with faith and loyalty. That bond is what protects the universe, and once that bond is broken, it is nearly impossible to repair." But before Zordon could go on, Alpha 5 says that the Eltarian cruiser has finally dropped into range, and they are requesting permission to teleport the Supreme Guardian now. Zordon gives them the permission, and then introduces Zartus, the Supreme Guardian of Eltar, to the Rangers. As Zartus cracks a joke about Zordon being rather intimidating in his giant tube, he turns to the Ranger stating that he has heard many things about the legendary Power Rangers of Earth. It is an honor to stand before you, which is why I'm here. Not only is my coming to secure the release of my guardian Zella, or as you know her, Candace, from Zedd, but also to do something that has been meaning to be done for a while. I'm here to finally engage in an official alliance between Earth and Eltar. It's time to bring you all into the fold. We've been fighting alongside each other for too long. But back on the moon, Candace tries to keep her mind focused as she does push-ups, and as she hears someone coming, she asks Squat if he's ready to have his mind read again. Zedd tells her, I am certain that you will not like what you find in my head, but as for Squat, you didn't have to scare the boy so badly. Candace says, imagine if she pulled the whole disappearing thumb trick. I know who you are. Your real name is Zelia. She redders herself, stating that he should have known better than to come in alone then. For her next trick, and Zedd summons her blade, and he slams her against the wall. As she asks him, how did you even do that? I've been killing Altarians for centuries. In fact, I suspect that I might know more about Eltar than you do. Eltarians claim to be the champions of the innocent and defenders of enlightenment. But I have learned the truth of you long ago. You're conquerors, invaders hiding behind a sword of order and shield of peace. Candace shouts that isn't true, and Zedd asks, really? Have you seen what your kind does to worlds who disagree with your notion of progress? Candace sits down. Go ahead, just torture me already. Kill me even. There's no way that I'm going to hunt Earth, and I'll never betray Eltar. Zedd tells her, I have no intention of torturing you. In fact, when I'm done, you are free to go. What? You gonna brainwash me? No, I'm simply going to tell you a story from a long time ago. This story begins just 10,000 years ago on the planet of Eltar. Eltar had located and watched over some of the most powerful artifacts in the known universe, the Zeo Crystal, and the council was deliberating what they should do with such a devastating item. The one watching the crystal was Supreme Guardian Zofram, and he stressed to the council that they must protect it to make sure that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Looking for suitable plans to hide the crystal away, an assassin under the Dark Spectre's orders was sent to retrieve it. But before he could, Zofram and Zordon stopped the assassin before he could even touch it. Zofram and Zordon stood their ground, but even this one assassin proved to be a handful, nearly knocking out Zofram and gravely wounding Zordon in the process. In his rage, Zofram got up and knocked the assassin down, but hearing the assassin's taunts, Zofram knew that these attacks were going to grow more and more frequent. Zofram returned to the council, telling them that they must do something about the Zeo crystals, but the council deemed that they needed more time to understand the powers of them, and it would be far too dangerous to an Eltarian. At this point, Zofram grew tired of the council's inability to make a decision, and argued that their pacing is what cost the lives of many, including one of their own. After leaving the council, Zofram returned to the palace where the Zeo crystal was being held so that he may use its power, but as he touched the crystal, his entire body was savagely ripped apart. Feeling the shockwave that shook the planet, Zartus came running to find out what happened, and from the rubble, an arm reached out calling for Zordon. Zofram asked what happened. He can't see. Zartus helps him up, telling him that he does not know. There is treachery afoot. The Zeo crystal has been cursed. It appears that someone is trying to kill them. As the two begin to leave the palace, the station guards state that they're going to go get a healer, but Zartus tells them no, and kills them. Zofram asks what is he doing, and Zartus says that they can't be trusted. Someone has been plotting against him since the very beginning, waiting for the right moment to remove him from power. But with that, Zartus helped the nearly dead Zofram recover, stating that together they will find the guilty party. Zofram of Eltar may have died today, but a new force in the galaxy is born. As time went on, Zofram endured a painful recovery, but his skin never returned. While being hidden away, Zofram asks where is the healer, and Zartus tells him that he has considered bringing one, but whatever the Zeo crystal did to him, he does not think that they can fix it. They're dealing with some very powerful magic. Zofram asks what of the elders. Zartus tells him that he told him that there was an attack, and that he, along with two guards, died defending the palace. Even if they suspect that he was lying, he left enough organic material behind to convince them otherwise. And as far as the universe is concerned, Zofram died a hero. Or perhaps once Zordon returns, they should tell him that he is alive. The elders requested his return because, Zofram says, because Zordon is next in line to be the Supreme Guardian. Zartus says that Zordon wields considerable influence now, and Zofram stops him and says that Zordon knows much about the Zeo Crystal. Perhaps he is even aware of the many spells that protect it. Zartus stops Zofram. He tells him that Zordon is loyal. They fought together. Even if he did know, he would never. Zofram turns back and shouts that from the moment they found the crystal, Zordon insisted time and time again that he alone should wield it. Why? Because he believed him? Or because he knew exactly what would happen if I touched it? Zartus tells him that he is not thinking clearly, and Zofram slams him into the wall, yelling, "I was betrayed! First by the elders and now by Zordon. Have you also betrayed me, Zartus?" Zartus barely manages to catch his breath. "I saved your life!" Zofram tells him, "Let's go on stating that that's the only reason you still live. Zofram of Eltar is gone. I sacrificed my life to protect the great and powerful Eltar, a place and people that did not deserve it. And I believe that it's only fitting that I dedicate the rest of my death to its very destruction." As Zofram declares his war against Eltar, Zartus smiles. Now back in the current time, Zordon gathers the Rangers and tells them that he and Zartus have been working together and have determined that with their numbers, a frontal assault is possible on Zedd's fortress. Tommy asks to be sure, even with our numbers, if something were to go wrong. But Zartus steps in. "I apologize for interrupting, but now might be a good time to introduce those that will be helping the Rangers in this coming battle." Suddenly, the teleporter activates, bringing in more people, and Zartus says, "I would like to introduce the Century Force 4, Zenith 00, Zeta, and Zag." While I and Zordon operate more covertly, these warriors specialize in a more aggressive encounter. With their combined strength, we can strike and remove Zedd once and for all while rescuing Zella, finally allowing Earth to take its place in the Great Altarian Alliance. However, before things could get underway, Candace appears on Zartus' ship, telling him that she's sorry for the wait, but it took her too long to escape her captors. She hopes that he is not disappointed in her. Zartus tells her of course not. He's glad that she is well and able, but how did you? She explains that she is utilizing her training. It's only a matter of time until Zedd's minions lowered their guards and she was able to escape. Zartus tells her, "Well, you have earned a much-needed rest. I look forward to hearing the details when you're able to." As the crewmen take Candace away, Zena says that she is lying, and Zartus stares. "I know. The real question is why." A short while later, Zartus returns to his room, but as he stares at Earth, he pauses. He unlocks the Zeo Crystal from its vault and activates the security protocol. The computer confirms the lockdown, and Zartus asks, "Did you hear that? There's no way out. Show yourself." Candace appears with her weapon drawn. "How did Zedd turn you so quickly? Did he send you in to assassinate me?" And Candace explains, "Zedd told me what we really are, and that he is Zofram of Eltar. You knew this whole time. Why haven't you told anyone?" "To protect Eltar. Everything that I have ever done has been to protect Eltar, including the resurrection of the Imperials." Candace tells him, "No, you're just a sad little man that wants to play God." Zartus then explains that he would start by destroying this bothersome little planet that she loves so much, and Candace lunges forward with a small portal opening up and Zag of the Centuries jumping through, kicking her. "Sorry, if it means anything, you were my favorite guardian, but well, Zartus is the boss now." Candace tries to throw her blade, but Zag opens up 2 more portals so that the blade gets thrown back at her, and he tells her, "Just stop already." She charges in with her blades. "Fine, we'll all die together." But as Zag opens up another portal, he says that he's afraid that they won't be making any martyrs today, and Zeta leaps through and holds his sword to her throat, telling her to stop. Zartus walks up, stating that he knew from her first field report that this day would come. Sadly, this world has a way of twisting one's perceptions. For sentimental reasons, he hoped to conquer it without incident, but thanks to her, that may no longer be an option. So, back on Earth, Zordon asks, "You simply escaped?" And Zartus tells him yes. Apparently it was quite a battle. She was in the infirmary, and I'll be sending her back to Eltar as soon as possible. "Is there anything that we can do, Zartus?" "Actually, once we deal with Zedd, I'm going to need the power coins. Like it or not, we're at war with the Imperials, and I need the soldiers wielding those coins, not teenagers with attitude." Zordon pauses for a moment and says that his allegiance is and always will be to Eltar. "Whatever you require, Zartus." Zartus responds to him, "You're a good friend. I'll let you know the moment our troops arrive. May the power protect you." As Zartus disappears, Zordon summons the Rangers, and Tommy asks, what does that mean? Zordon tells him, Candace has failed. Rangers, even with her advanced warning, we don't have much time. The Eltarian invasion is upon us. And there you have it. Now, I ended this video one issue short because the next issue is going to recap everything that we just did, but from the Power Rangers point of view. So I honestly felt that that would be a good one to throw onto the next video to kind of give you a recap to know how we're getting into the Eltar War. Also, I want to just state, why do the Eltars all have to have Z names? It was getting very confusing even for me trying to read the script. But yeah, no, what do you guys think about this? The new Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Eltar War, finding out about Zedd's origins and Zordon's origins. I just want to know how Zordon became a head in a tube. If I missed that, someone tell me where to find it, because I don't even know where that exists. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian. Like, subscribe, check back in 2 weeks for the next chapter of Power Rangers, as we're going to go back to the Omega Rangers and Draken.